Hello and welcome back to our ZSK channel. I'm René from ZSK in Germany, and this time I would like to show you how to set the hook timing for your Sprint 6 machine, because it's different compared to the Sprint 5 as well as to the Jaffa series. What we need is several kind of tools which we will see now in the picture. You see, we need 3 different kinds of Allen keys, we need 2 different kinds of the screwdriver cross size, as well as a screwdriver with a flat part on it. Also, we need a piece of paper, which is necessary then to give actually the space between the needle and the hook peak. All right, let's start now with the settings. The first thing what we have to do is we have to go to needle number 12. That means we will set now the machine to the needle number 12 in case that I use the button needle change on the T8 unit control. Press the button. The first thing what we see is the needle 1 until 8, and on U9 you have then the possibility to go to needle number 12. Here we are. I press the button and confirm it with the start key. Just make sure that the LED is on the right side, otherwise you have to use the ZSK key to bring it to this position. I press now the button. The machine will change now to needle number 12. Why is it necessary? Because we need to put off a cover. And I would like to show you where it is. This one, we have to remove it. In this case, we need now an Allen key. The Allen key size 2.5 mm. I take now off in total 5 screws. 2 are on the top, 2 will be here, and 1 is underneath, which you will see then later on. I have removed now all 5 screws, and please make sure that you don't lose them. There's also a plastic washer on it, and it's quite important to keep that. Right, okay, I remove now this cover. Here we are. This is now the cover, as you can see. Just put it on the side. At the moment we don't need it. Why was it necessary to remove the cover? Because we do have here a new part on the machine. This is a mechanical brake here, what you see, for the main shaft. Quite necessary to hold it then quite strongly to adjust in the hook device. That's why we have to remove it. Now we have to go to the control panel once again back, and we will go now to needle number 6. Because it is always better to set the timing with the needle in the middle. I will go now to the control panel, set now to needle number 6, press the start button, and you will see it removes to needle number 6. Okay. The next thing what we have to do is to get off the stitch plate as well as the hook itself actually, and the cover here underneath. So the question is, of course, why do we need to set the hook timing? The hook timing is one of the most important part. That means it takes the upper thread right on time to make the knot for the nice sewing. If the gap is too much from the needle to the hook peak, then sometimes the hook will not take your upper thread. This is one reason. Or you got something, we call it caterpillars on the end of the thread here. Also, it can cause us a lot of thread breakage. That's why it is very important that the hook timing is perfect, set it. Now we start with it. We have to remove some cover here again, and in this case I will take here a small screwdriver, and I have to remove now this cover, what you see here. There are 3 screws, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, as well as 1 on the bottom. And it's not a big deal, but just make sure that you have the right screwdriver, otherwise you will destroy the screws and it's very hard to remove them. So I will remove them quickly. All right, so here we are. This is basically the cover, as you can see. Put that on the side. Then we get off our bobbin case, we don't need this. And we have to remove the stitch plate. The stitch plate is not so easy, that's why we have a special tool. You will find this tool in your toolbox. It's actually also a screwdriver in a special form. And behind our needle package we do have 2 screws which we have to remove completely. Also here, make sure that you don't destroy the screws. Sometimes they are quite hard to tighten. So here we are. Take it off and put it on the side. The next step what we have to do is to move away our holder or the finger for the hook device. There are 2 screws underneath, black screws actually. We take now the Allen key, 2 mm, and we will remove the first one completely. Also here make sure that you don't destroy the screw, please. The second one, we just open it. It's no need to remove it completely. Just like that, that's enough. And then you are able to put the finger on side. The next thing is, we take now our screwdriver, the flat one, and we have to open now the screws from our hook device. There are 2. One on this side and the other on the other side. So I will now do and check quickly where the screw is. Here it is, and open it. Number 1. And on the other side is number 2. So here we are. I will remove now the hook device, just pull it out. Sometimes it's quite hard to get off, so you need a lot of power. And even sometimes when you want to bring it back, it makes sense to have a piece of sandpaper, very fine one, and just make the shaft here, the bobbin shaft, and give it here somehow like this, that you can put it later on easier back on the shaft here. Right. Important to know in this case is that the hook device does have 2 screws. We do have a screw here as well as here. Also make sure that you don't lose them. Actually, it's very easy to get them out and you lose it. Don't, please. Make sure you don't lose it. By the way, if you have the hook device in your hand and you are just controlling it by your fingers, if there is no burr or any scratch on it, because this causes immediately a thread break and it runs very badly. So this one is very nice, no problem at all. And in this case we bring it back, but to bring it back we have to make sure that we put the black part in here to the right position, means to the open position like that. You see here very well, this is basically the peak which takes the upper thread. So take it like that and bring the black part to this position. And if it is like that, you can put it back to the main shaft. So now we need to go to the control panel and set now the degree for the timing. And in this case, we need to go to the panel to L3, it's service, and there we will find the machine test attachment. I will show you where it is right now. So here we are on our control panel, and as I told you, we have to go on L3, which is service. Here we are, pressing L3 please, and there you will find on R2 test machine attachment. We will go to test machine attachment. We have here several possibilities to adjust on the machine, but we have to go to the position of main shaft. In this case, to get through to this, you can't use these buttons here. It's not possible. You have to use the arrow keys over here. And I do it now. We go just one up and confirm it with start testing. Pressing start testing. And here you will give in now the degree where we want to go to. It says to me I have to go to 202.5 degree, but I can't get 0.5 in here. So I just say 203 degree, that's enough. And press start testing again. By the way, to give in the degree, use please the buttons here underneath. Simply 2, 0, and 3. Start testing. Right. Here you will be now guided what you have to do next. It says start button. Please press the start button that the main shaft will go through to this position. I press the start button now. And it will go, you see, in this case now to 199.7. It's of course not the 203 exactly, but we can do it by hand. I will show you then. To see the degree better, you press this button once again called main shaft position. If I do so, I got big numbers. It's much more easier to control it while you're sitting down and adjust the hook device. So here we are now on the left side on the machine, and what you can see already is that we have here our tooth belt as well as with the tooth wheel. This is basically the mechanical clamp which holds then the main shaft, and this we have to adjust. But before we do this, I will rotate now the main shaft to the 202.5 degree. So I will take now my finger and just simply rotate it until you see on the display, on the panel, 202.5. So the sticker shows you where you have to go through. And as I said, we have to go to 202.5. Here we are. You see, almost. If it is 1/10 of a degree up or down, it doesn't matter at all. Take then a nut or a wrench, which does have the size 8 in metrics, and put it on top of here. And you see, I can simply rotate it now with my, I just have to make sure that I keep my degree, and now fix here my brake. It's actually not a big deal. Just always look on the panel that you still keep the degree. If your machine is a Jaffa series or the newer one Racer, you have the possibility to make the main shaft brake on the T8, and that means it's an electric brake. So please, in this case, go to the button More, which you will find here underneath, and on the left side you will see then a button called Switch on the main shaft brake, and the other one Shift off the main shaft brake. If you want to go back, just hit the yellow arrow here. This is previous. Right, if this is done, now we can go back to our hook device and set it now, or give him actually the timing to the needle. So we are back now to our hook device, and of course, since we rotated the main shaft, also our hook device is rotated. Never mind, we just bring it a little bit back, there where the open part is. You can see it here well. And now we have to release or bring down the needle. How do we do this? We have to take our hand and go behind the head. And behind the head we do have an electric magnet. And it releases actually the needle. We call it the jump stitch magnet. And if I do so, I will press now the pin. The needle will come down, as you can see. Now I press with the finger further down. You see, and bring out the thread. There's no need, we don't need the thread at all. And it is not finished. Just go deeper and press until you hear the click. Here we are. This is now the position what we need. The needle is now exactly on that degree where the hook will take then the upper thread. So what we have to do now is to rotate the hook so far that we have the peak behind the needle, and it is important that the peak will not show to the left too much outside or less to the right side. It has to be exactly behind the needle, and the space between the needle and the peak is exactly as a paper thickness. So if you put in between a paper like this, then you know you have the perfect space. So I will do it once again. I'm checking that I got it right. This is a little bit tricky. It takes a while, honestly. As better as you make it, as smoother the machine will run. That's for sure. If this is done, fix the screw from the left side. There's the only possibility that way. We bring it here in and make sure it is not moving as it does in my case. So I bring it back. Here we are. And tighten the screw smoothly. Always check that the peak is still behind the needle and it will not go in front. So checking with the paper once again the distance. Yes, you see, perfect. This is how it should be. If this is done, you can tighten it now as much as you can. So, don't forget that we have a second screw. The second screw is at the moment not possible to reach. You need to rotate the main shaft now. But since one screw is already tightened, it doesn't matter when we release now the brake. We can rotate the main shaft. I will show you then how it will be done. Actually, you can do it right now. Take your wrench or your nut, open the brake, which I do right now. So, and then simply rotate the tooth wheel to the position where you need to go until the screw will show to the position, and here it comes. I can see now the second screw, and also I will tighten it. Okay, here we are. If this is done, we are still not finished. We have to bring back then the finger, and don't forget the finger is very, very important, otherwise you have a big trouble. The whole hook will rotate and we cannot make any stitch. To put back this holder finger, we need again our little black screw. I will show you now on the screen what it means. This is the little black screw here, what we have, and I bring it back, tighten a little bit, and make sure that the finger is in between the gap where it fits. Actually, you see that. You need also a little bit of space in between. You cannot put it close by. So let a space in between, we say approximately 0.8 mm. I will now fix it quickly. So tighten the screws, please not too much, otherwise you break the screws. They are quite tiny. Since everything is fixed and tightened on the hook device, especially the finger for the hook device, and you have released the manual brake on the main shaft, you are able to leave now the menu on the panel. In this case, what we have to do simply to go with previous back one time, and then you see on the right side stop testing. Please use the button stop testing, and the machine will go back to the parking position. And so we are back in the test attachment machine, and we have just to press the button previous, and we are back in the main menu if you do it once again. After this, you can now put the machine together. That means the covers can be fixed on, and this is what we do next. So now we can bring back our parts which we have to do. This is now the part which is underneath the hook device, and I will bring it simply there where it should be. Take then your screws and fix it, which is not so difficult. Just keep in mind we do have 3 screws of them. One is on the bottom, one is on the right side and the other on the left side. It's not a big deal to fix this. It's quite fast. So I always make sure that it is aligned well, and then I tighten it as much as it is possible, because the screws are quite tiny that you don't break them. Good. And the next thing will be the stitch plate. We put now the stitch plate on top, and then in this case we need here our special screwdriver, right? Put the screw on the screwdriver, go to the back side, put it in, and actually you just can rotate it in. Don't tighten, please, this is important, otherwise we cannot align the needle to the hole. So, like this. Okay, and once maybe you have seen already on Andrea's video how to align the needle. Basically it's quite simple. We go simply to the control panel and bring down the needle by pressing the button needle down, and it will come, if you press several times, until the needle will reach the hole. It does. And now I want to check it. I will lift up the pressure foot and make sure that my needle is perfectly aligned with the hole, and if this is done, you tighten the screws behind. So now it's done, and we tighten them. Double check. Very good. Okay, last thing is we bring back now our bobbin case. Put it back. Alright, then we can put up the needle by pressing the shift key and hold it and needle up. It goes back to the position where it should be. And the last thing what we have to do is to bring back this cover here, what we will do right now. But this is not a big deal, just bring it back. But before you do this, keep in mind that you have to go back to needle number 12. Otherwise it's not possible to put it on. Believe me, I know. And so we do. Needle change, go to needle number 12, press the start button, change this to needle number 12, and now I'm able to fix it. So now our machine is fixed and the timing for the hook device is well done. Just in case that you have also this idea, when you have a bigger machine from us, the Jaffa series or even now the Racer, the new type of it, they have an electric brake, so we have not to remove any cover, unfortunately. You can see this also in our other videos, which I have done before. If you have any further question, please do not hesitate to contact us. It was a pleasure to show you this part, and we hope we see you soon again in our ZSK channel. Thank you.